let's start with your series.
Okay.
You had Burke County and Lincoln County. The series is now tied 2-2.
Yeah.
And, once you get this deep in the series, it may be a pitching issue.
Yes.
And Burke and East, or Lincoln, will be playing tonight on WLON with Ken Link and Jason Saint. Tell us a little bit about last night's game.
Last night's game was a complete opposite from what happened in Game 3. Game 3, we went up to Burke County, and Burke County came out on top in that game, really unscathed, 8-0. And then last night, this is what we said after the game. Let me get to that first. What we said after the game in Burke County for Game 3 was, of course, it was a winner-go-home game, really, or not winner-go-home. It was a must-win for both teams because, decisive Game 4 was coming up. And after the game was over, me and Kent were talking in the post-game show and said, what really hurts for Lincoln County is how inconsistent they've been on the defensive side of the ball and their batting. The defensive side of the ball that night, they had 2 errors. One of them should have been an easy routine ground ball at the second baseman, and he just there's a hole in his glove. He just hits him, and he doesn't pull it up. So there were silly mistakes. They didn't get the fundamentals right, and they had only 4 hits that whole day. They only had 4 hits, 4 base hits. Where as of last night, they had 3 hits in 2 innings. So they did a complete 180. They played sound in the infield. There were I think there was only, if anything, there was 1 error, but they did something that they didn't do, which was hit. They hit the ball, and I said that while we were covering to Burke County. What we had come to the conclusion was, I don't think you're gonna quite beat them in the infield. So all you gotta do is just try and outscore them. You gotta try and outscore them somehow. And it's exactly what they did yesterday. And what I saw from Burke County was, I saw 5 pitching changes. I saw 3 of them in the same inning, and that was the bottom of the 4th. When they put up 8 runs. Lincoln County put up 8 runs. That was a long inning in general. The rest of the game went so fast compared to that inning. That inning alone was almost 30 minutes. 3 pitching changes. One guy only pitched to 2 players, and then I think it was pitch count. He had pitched a few nights before, had a few more numbers that he could go, hit the number, and then they pulled him again. So, like you said, pitching is going to come into play tonight. Based on what I had seen and what we had talked about with some of the gentlemen up in the press box at Lincoln County as well is in a little bit of a pitching situation as well with the pitch count rule as well. They're getting deeper and deeper with who can pitch, maybe infield players that really haven't pitched in maybe years. They don't really pitch when they're in high school or travel ball. So I told Ken, I said, Ken, I think you're going to have an ugly game tonight. This is not a shot towards either team. It's just, if you're getting low on pitching, you might have some ugly throws. You might have a couple walks here and there, a little bit of freebies. I don't think it'll be as high scoring as it has been. I know Ken told me in Game 1, score was like 9-8. That was the closest game that they've had. It's either been a blowout or it was a 1-point game.
Let me ask the umpires at this table.
Well, what I saw Burke County, I was just going to add real quick, it seemed like they were better than they have been in years past. And it seemed like when I saw them against Henderson County, they had a couple guys that were good pitchers. I think they had one guy come home from college that was pitching for them, and they did. They got
a shortstop who's smooth and he can pitch.
And they hit a couple out too against
7-7.
He did last night too.
So
there was one that did last night.
It seemed like they're a much improved team. So I was curious to see how far they might get. I hadn't seen Lincoln County, but
do you guys think the pitching rules highly affect the quality of baseball play? Because you have to take the better pitchers you have to take out more often, and now you get to situations where you're at a 5 guy.
The problem with it is, it's like you're treating everybody the same now.
Mm-hmm.
And you really can't do that because like on a football team, you got one guy that can bench press 225 15 times, and a guy that can only bench press 180 pounds.
Right.
There's different physical capabilities.
You got starters and closers.
Yeah, the problem is you got some dumb coaches out there that do dumb things. So now everybody's being punished. You see what I mean? And that's what I don't like. So what I don't understand is punish the coach. Don't punish all the other coaches that do their job and know their players. That's what irritates me.
But what's your limitation?
When I went to Bessemer, Terry, well, here's the thing about this. Well, I think one thing Tom's getting to is, let's say at Bessemer we had Mason. He ran every day. He threw every day. He was preparing to play college baseball and be a pitcher.
And he could probably throw 130 pitches, no problem.
Right.
Yeah.
I could throw 60 and my arm would almost fall off.
Right.
But we could throw the same number of pitches. Like I could, you could. I was the fifth. I was probably about the fifth pitcher. I threw in practice some. I never touched the mound the whole season. I didn't have to. If we did, we were in big trouble. But I would have if we had pitch inning rules.
Oh, yeah.
And that wouldn't have been good. I saw Bessemer lose a game last year because of pitch inning rules. They had to take the starting pitcher out. The other team hadn't got to run the whole game, take him out in the seventh inning with one out. The guy comes in and gives up.
That's almost
kind of
how it was last night for Burke County. Unfortunately, the starting pitcher that they had started to get shelled. So what did they do? They went to somebody they thought still had some room to try and get him out of the inning. They didn't have it because they even went out there. The opposing manager went out there with the umps and said, "Look, I don't think he can even pitch tonight. I don't even think this guy can pitch." And he had just a few more pitches he could throw. And then they had to make another pitching change, and he got shelled.
I mean, do you think we should be so concerned about the numbers of pitches, Terry? Because now you got a guy counting pitches in each dugout, and then isn't there enough to worry about already? And like I said, the coach should know better that hey, Mason go 100 pitches and Kevin can't.
Let me put it to you in my terms. I'm like Tom on a lot of things. Don't go change your pitcher. Let's keep the game going. But on the second end of it,
makes the games longer, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, I saw three pitching changes in one inning.
Well, on the other end of it, I do want to protect the player.
Well, here's the thing.
And I understand what Tom's saying. There are some guys who can go out there and throw like Mason 130 or more pitches and never be hurt by it. But when you have people out there and all of a sudden the coach says, "Okay, we're going 160, 170," I mean, you're putting that guy in jeopardy.
What if they had a rule, Terry, where you had to ask the pitcher, as far as like
I'm never going to tell you no, I need to come out.
No, not that. Is your arm sore at all? If there's any soreness, not hey, it's a little sore, I think I can still go. If they say there's any, and if your arm's hurting, you can grab a pitcher around the elbow, and they'll react if it's sore or something.
Yeah. And
if there's any reacted, I know it's a self-replicating rule. Maybe even the umpire say, "Hey, how you doing, pitch? You okay?" I don't know, how to enforce it, but like,
what is the pitch count?
What else? What else? I think is a problem is you got more kids playing year round too.
You do.
So they pitch in the spring, they pitch in the summer, they pitch
let
in
me
the
tell you
fall.
something. That's the parents' fault.
That's wearing out some.
That's the parents' fault for letting their kids do that because what they told us growing up is it is better for you to play a different sport in your off season than to play the same sport throughout. You can't just keep putting that kind of wear and tear on it. Now I know you can't tell them. That's like any player. They want to play their sport year round, but
it used to not be like that though. When I was in school, a 3 or 4 sport athlete was common.
Yeah.
I mean, very common.
They always win like best all around or most athletic.
When I was at Burns in the early 2000s, the baseball players, no, we're not going to go get hurt playing football.
Mason would have been an excellent quarterback.
What's that?
Chris Mason would have been an excellent quarterback.
Yeah.
He was tough. Might have been the toughest player that we had.
Yeah.
He was fearless, and my God, he could sling the ball.
Yeah.
And he was a smart, instinctful athlete. He played basketball with us in pickups and stuff. He could have probably made the varsity. He wouldn't have started. He wasn't that good.
Yeah.
But he could probably made it, but he didn't do any of that. He was just all bad. But that's different. But the kids that aren't, throwing 90, and I will say this, playing basketball, baseball, and football, every single one of those taught me how to so I'm a shorter person, right? So you look on the football field, throwing passes basketball and baseball sidearm, either pitching or throwing from a shortstop, teaches you to what? If I'm not as tall as my lineman, I can sling a sidearm throw here and there. I don't know how many times I've thrown a sidearm football. They don't teach you to throw it that way. Tim Quattlebaum never taught me to throw a football sidearm. But at some times when he's teaching 6'3" and 4 quarterbacks. Kent Bowen went to Lenore Ryan. Ralph Roberts, he's pretty good. I'm out here doing this, throwing it sideways and stuff. So each one of those sports taught me different things. High school basketball taught, playing at a certain level and playing against certain people, the passes you have to make are so crisp that it's going to be a turnover that people just don't even realize that you have to be so crisp on those passes. And that teaches in each and every one of those sports. And like you guys are saying, you're not playing these other sports. The footwork in basketball and backpedaling at cornerback all day long, just backpedal. You don't think that helps you get back on D in basketball? I could run if I'm beat to a spot and I know how to backpedal. Like so many basketball players, Terry, they get their hips turned, they're done. Mm-hmm. But if you can backpedal and get back just as fast as they're going, you don't know
how many times I've seen in this series. I know I've only covered 2 of the games out of the series, but I don't. Are they teaching kids in the outfield to play in the shallow outfield the whole time? I saw so many. They play so shallow. You know how many times I've seen a kid get burnt? That when I played, I had videos I watched growing up. My dad put them in. They would teach you the fundamentals of the game. They always taught you in the outfield, don't be afraid to play deep because you can move faster forward than you can backwards.
But what I think what's happened is because they deaden these bats.
Oh, yeah.
That's why you're seeing that.
You would think it's easier though, on the one hop or maybe the second hop to just field it and come up with the dude's there for a single, than letting it fly over your head and you have to backtrack and run all the way and let it roll to the warning track. And the dude's got a double, maybe turning and running for a triple. And they're catching with one hand to the side of their body in the outfield. I get it; it's kind of old school way, but dude, if that thing hits the tip, it's flying out. You have nothing behind it. I don't know. Do they just not teach the fundamental? I know I didn't go far in baseball. I got burnt out with baseball. I just did. I was decent at it, but I got burnt out at it. But I feel like I at least knew the fundamentals, at least at fielding and playing in the outfield. I don't come up like this and you put your body to the side.
I think the worst fundamental thing that's gotten so bad lately is the bunting. I've seen some awful bunting. All right, guys, we got to get through these standings and matchups.
Just on this, what do we know? Since you are umpires, do you know what the pitch count is in Legion Ball? Like, what can you get to before they're like, all right, that's
umpires
enough?
Stay out of that.
Yeah,
you stay out of that. You don't know.
I want to say in high school it's 115 pitches.
It's not up to the umpires to.
It's not up to the.
I know it's not up to them to keep. I know it's not up to you to keep up with.
I
didn't know you knew
I didn't really
that.
say that. They want us clicking stuff. That's
the only thing I was going to say, Kevin, when that little speech about how you made, well, if you play this sport, it teaches you this, which transfers to that. I don't think that's what coaches are telling them.
No.
I think what coaches are telling them is, no. You got to play this all year long.
Oh, well, that's what it is.
And I think, we want to blame the parent. As a teacher, I think that we overblame parents. Some of the problem is what these kids are being told by their coaches.
Oh, you know what also you get? Yeah. You meet more friends. You get more because you get more teammates.
Diverse.
The same people. I had totally different friends and met different people on every one of those different one of those different teams, and because Tom, there's some people. Andre, he, God bless him, he didn't even know that our school had a golf team until like 2 years ago when I told him I was on the golf team. I'm like, Andre, we had our bags in the classes. Like, how did you miss that? So like people on like the basketball team didn't know I played football, and some people on the baseball team didn't know I played basketball or baseball. Like none of them knew. Like I played the other sports, so there's like 2 people that played the other sports with me. I think, let's see, football, we had 2 guys that played basketball, and that was it, that played football with me. And then baseball, only 1 guy from the football team played on the baseball team. 2, sorry, Jason was there too. So we had 2 guys on the football team.
It does get cliquish. Like us baseball players, we just play baseball, man. We stick together. The football players hang out over there. We're baseball players, but I luckily for me, I played soccer. Obviously, like it's not the biggest sport at school, but I was friends with everybody like throughout all the sports. But that's just coming up. I played with them in like other different things. That's what it is. Just like with people in travel, I think what it is. The kids, they want to play that one sport because they see these professional athletes And I think it's really more basketball players that say, man, all I do, I play high school ball, but then I'm straight to AAU. I play with my buddies. We go and we travel up and down, South Carolina, all the East Coast. We play for, I'm just throwing it out, Chris Paul's under Nike All-American team.
But
whatever.
look at a lot of the people that made it big. They've always played more than one sport.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at him and it'll say, well, he was a heck of a basketball player.
They said Patrick Mahomes was just as good of a baseball player as he is a football player.
Hey,
Right.
Caron Butler, NBA player, to this day, says Tony Romo is better than him in basketball.
Oh, I bet I can imagine he'd be great.
He was
Tony Romo's just
he's
as good
all-state.
at golf as he is a football player.
He's a. I mean, the golf. Some of those guys that play Smokes could play golf. A lot of those guys that take the time to play the golf.
For God's sakes, Dion played both.
I think you need a break from. I really do think, because I've heard. I can't remember the name of the kid. We were doing the game, and the kid was going to come out and play for the Legion team. Played like 2 days and said, "I'm done. I don't want to play anymore." Gave up like playing college ball, everything.
Oh, you get burnt out.
I think that some of these kids
it'll ruin you.
You
get burnt out.
Yeah, Terry. We were told. I don't know the name or anything like that about a kid that had got offered a scholarship to play baseball in college and turned it down to go something else because he was tired of it and burned out. And I will say this: that
you get tired of it.
I can see how it happens, or it could happen, but you need some type of break, a break or
and the other sport,
mental
sport is. I mean, they come out there and it's like, yeah, football's my sport, but I have a lot of fun playing basketball. I mean, I've heard kids say that, or like kids on the baseball team. I say, well, baseball's my sport, but I played basketball and had a ball, even though they weren't a starter.
And here's the thing is, like, time. I mean, I played year-round soccer when I started in middle school. But that was just because I wanted to be able to play at the next level after high school. That was like a goal of mine. So I knew, like, they always told me, said you got to get at least 1,000 touches. 1,000 touches in a whole year. You got to always touch the ball. It just keeps you fresh, keeps your skills up. But at the same time, I mean, if my buddies wanted to go play pickup basketball, I'm going and playing pickup basketball. You want to go throw football around, I'm going with them. I'm playing football. So, I mean, I may not be playing like an organized game, but I'm still out there doing something different. I'm out there being around my friends. I feel like that's something that a lot of people, they'll lose their friends in that, because it's like, I know when I was younger, I played an all-star baseball one year, and my buddies didn't want to play. They were going and playing on a spring soccer team. Well, I didn't get to see them. So it was like, oh, man. So you lose out on opportunities if you focus on one thing. So you got to be able to make time. And then really, now that I'm older, and I know I'm only in my close to mid-20s, but, I mean, I can feel it in my joints. I mean, my knees kill me. My ankles like Rice Krispie treats when I'm walking around the house at night. I can't sneak anywhere anymore. I just snap, crackle, and pop all around the house. So I probably should have taken a little bit of a break somewhere. Now I'm happy that I kind of do. I'm not out there running 3 miles a day like I used to do just to try and stay in shape. But I just feel like if you want to be great at something, that's great. Focus on it. But you got to give your body a rest and play another sport. And I feel like if they're going to implement this pitch rule thing for a little bit more of an extended time, they don't try and adjust it to where it's a little bit better for the team.
Well, they don't do this in any other sport, do they?
No, I honestly was about to say that. What would
Is there any other sport that you have?
Because think about it. What if they were like, you can't throw a football 40 times in a game?
Well, my other thing with the pitch count thing is that, can you say, well, Mr. Umpire, I don't want to throw any pitches between innings. Do I get 8 more pitches? Because you're supposed to throw 5 and 8 between each inning.
I don't understand why.
The pickoff. I
mean, you're already warm, aren't you?
The pickoff throws the first count, Terry. I mean, if I cut off a ball and throw it and try to throw somebody out, does that count?
It's kind of like it's kind of like every coach and every official in the state of North Carolina now has to take the concussion test.
Yeah,
because it's a similar thing. It's like you got people who don't do what they're supposed to do, and now everybody's punished. Yeah, and some kids are having to sit out extended periods of time when they're ready to go back because so many kids have been rushed before they're ready to go back. So this is why you've got this new.
I think
new
all right,
rules.
I think to fix that, they could maybe extend the pitch count if they still want to keep a pitch count, but then implement. All right, well, you have to sit out a certain amount of days, like a longer amount of time before you can pitch again.
All right, guys, we got to get through the standings and pairings. We have 5 series already over. Union County won first 2 games. Game 3 was postponed for rain, and they won the third one, so they won the series 3-0. Mint Hill beat Maiden 3-1 in their series. Asheville beat Huntersville 3-0 to their series, and Cherryville swept Cleveland County 3-0.
Well, how did Maiden and Shelby both make it?
Burnsville decided they wouldn't have enough players / couldn't play. So
Okay.
they didn't play, so they moved Maiden over to the other division.
Oh, okay.
And made them the West Division. Now, so that sets up for tonight. We've got 3 games. Actually, there's a doubleheader between the Gaston Braves and Hendersonville today. It's in Hendersonville. So doubleheader in Hendersonville today beginning at 1 p.m. Burke County and Lincoln County play tonight at Burke County. We'll have that on WLON 1050 AM, 107.5 FM in Lincoln County with Jason Sane and Ken Link. And then also tonight, Rutherford hosts Pineville. Rutherford is the 3 seed, Pineville the 6 seed, as the series is tied 2-2. Let's see, that's the series update. So who plays who? Cherryville will play Gastonia beginning Sunday's the 7th, right? Sunday the 7th? Sunday
Yes,
the 7th, right?
sure
All series begin the 7th, Sunday. So the series will start tomorrow, folks. Lincoln County will be playing Sunday night, too, Hunter. You need to tell me your availability on that one, too. Because Ken's out to the 13th. Let's see. So Union County will be playing the, West 3 winner. Where's that at? Union County will be playing Rutherford. Pineville winner. Like I said, Cherryville will be playing Gastonia. Mint Hill will be playing the Burke County, Lincoln County winners. So if Lincoln County wins, they'll be playing Mint Hill, Hunter, on Sunday in Mint Hill. So there's that one.
Mm-hmm.
And then if the and then Asheville, of course, will be playing the winner of the Gaston Braves and Henderson County. All right, guys, we got to get out of here. Oh, we're way behind on another break. We come back, we'll get into some Major League Baseball, NASCAR, NFL, and I do got one more news note on Kawhi in 1 minute on KTCBroadcasting.com.